I'm getting ready to go to the Oliver Hardy Festival in Harlem, Georgia. So this is my first opportunity to go to this thing. I live only 180 miles from Harlem, so I'm looking forward to seeing what this is all about. Of course, I've got to pack my stuff, and there are some important things that one must not forget. You don't get to come with me. I'm afraid you've got to stay here with the missus. Is that okay? All right. Well, time to get packed up and get ready for the drive down to Harlem. Okay, I'm getting ready to drive to Harlem. And, I think we need some suitable music. So let's see. Yep, I think this will do quite nicely. Why, even I look bright this morning. All right, folks, I'll see you in Harlem. Well, I made it to the Econo Lodge here in Augusta, Georgia. I'm not too far from the Oliver Hardy Festival. So this is my room. It isn't much to look at, but I must admit, it is an improvement over the room that Stan and Ollie shared in They Go Boom. So let me share a little bit about where I'm going tomorrow. I'm going to the 34th annual Oliver Hardy Festival. Going to be held tomorrow, Saturday, October 7th, 2023. And on the website they say, come out and enjoy the day with us and the many visitors to celebrate Laurel and Hardy. There will be a parade, craft and food vendors, entertainment, movie shorts in the theater, and lots of other fun things to do for the day. Visit the museum and see the Laurel and Hardy memorabilia displays, as well as learn about the history of Harlem. Our local businesses will be open that day, so be sure to stop by and check out what they have. We hope you will have a wonderful time and enjoy the day. So, of course, Harlem's big claim to fame, and no small claim it is it's the birthplace of Oliver Hardy, born in 1892. So the parade starts at 10 a.m. and I'll definitely be there for that. And I'm really looking forward to visiting the Laurel and Hardy Museum of Georgia. There's a lot of interesting things to see there, and I've always wanted to go there. This is my first opportunity. As I mentioned earlier in this video, I only live about 180 miles from Harlem. So I'm looking forward to seeing what this whole festival is like. Looking forward to it, and I'll bring you back when I actually arrive at the festival tomorrow morning. Well, I've made it to Harlem, and I just paid $5 to park, and I have contributed to a scholarship fund in the process. So now it's time to go check out the parade. It's a beautiful morning here in Harlem, Georgia, as everybody's waiting for the parade to start. And here come the baton twirlers. And now no parade would be complete without vintage fire engines. However, I'm not too interested in all these fire engines, so let's speed up the video a little bit. There they go. And there they go. As you can see, there were a lot of people coming out to enjoy the parade. Here's the Mount Tabor Baptist Church children, and followed by Miss Harlem High School 2023. I guess she was the Grand Marshal. And I don't know who this is, but he's dressed like a bird. Looks like Christmas has come early to the folks in Harlem. This is actually the Girl Scouts of Harlem. And I imagine they're going to be selling some cookies. I don't know if this guy is a Sons of the Desert member or perhaps a Shriner. Couldn't get close enough to see his hat. Of course, we have to have antique tractors. There's a lot of farmland around Harlem, Georgia. These unfortunate folks, perhaps they were just watching the raid, or maybe they were beer barons. Who knows? But there are some recognizable characters in there. Now we have some cars, antique cars, and of course there's our Laurel and Hardy impersonators throwing candy to the children. And after this, we'll see a series of these beautiful cars from the 1930s. Some of these cars remind me of the ones that you see in two tars, but fortunately these cars are all in one piece. And of course, it would be a shame if any of these cars were to be damaged. They've all been quite lovingly preserved. Now, here's some more modern day cars, and I'm not interested in those. And since Halloween is coming here in the United States, we've got cars dressed up with spider webs. Antioch Baptist Church drives their bus through the parade. I've seen some videos from past parades, and they're there every year. Now, the parade is over, and everybody is off to go somewhere. And where do they go? The museum.
How are you all? Thank you all for coming into our 34th Laurel and Hardy Fest, Oliver Hardy Fest in Harlem, Georgia.
Oh, it's great to be here.
Yes, and we're glad to have you. And thank you for taking the video. We appreciate that. Yep.
Fans of the
Enjoy the rest of it.
All right, I will. Thank
Okay.
you.
All right.
I wanted to take my picture with these guys, but I'm too big. So now I'm not in the picture, and it's much better. So it looks like Laurel and Hardy have just returned from supposedly Hawaii. But we know where they really went, don't we? But it looks like Stan at some point decided to ditch the California group and join the Georgia chapter of the Sons of the Desert. But anyway, there they are. So you can see quite a few people, many of them coming straight from the parade, coming into the museum. Here we have the Perfect Day photo op. If you like to play Laurel and Hardy pinball, here you go. Looks like Hardy lost his pants at some point. Here's a picture of the Sons of the Desert Constitution, a little stack of books. Obviously, these are not all the books that have been written about Stan and Babe. I have a few of these, and I imagine you do too. There was a lot of people in the museum, so it was very difficult for me to get any good shots. So I just did the best I could. Here's Ollie looking rather dour, but Stan looking rather happy.
Ladies and gentlemen, this was Dan West and Jose.
Yeah. Thank you, thank you. That is not an easy song to play, as you can probably tell.
In the Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia, on the trail of the lonesome pine, in the pale moonshine, our hearts entwined, where she carved her name and I carved mine. Oh, blue, oh, June, like the mountains are blue, and the blue, I am lonesome for you. In the Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia, on the trail of the lonesome pine.
We actually used an old-fashioned projector to watch that movie. Well, this is not quite accurate because, as most of you know, Stan had red hair. However, he doesn't look too bad with black hair, and Ollie's hat is all wrong. Couldn't really get a good picture of this because of the reflections, but this is another picture of the Model T with Stan and Ollie inside. This is the Laurel and Hardy Calliope. I couldn't really put the music in there because there was just so much noise here in the museum because it was so crowded. So this is the Dancing Masters Calliope, 2008. There's the cutouts. Couldn't use those. Now, you can see that the crowds were great. There's the famous water tower. Some of the vendors, there were 124 vendors here. Most of them had nothing to do with Laurel and Hardy. And we had some fun stuff for the children to do. There was a lot of food. There was music. This guy is actually singing Dock of the Bay by Otis Redding. No Laurel and Hardy music actually being sung from this stage, but they had a good sound system and music was good. He should have been singing this particular piece here. This is the music for the Laurel and Hardy theme. I managed to get back into the museum when it was a little less crowded and take a few more pictures. Another picture of the Laurel and Hardy photo op with A Perfect Day. Well, I'm back here in my studio. I got back from Harlem yesterday and just wanted to give you a few quick impressions of the Oliver Hardy Festival. It was a lot of fun. There were a lot of folks there, that's for sure. And I couldn't help but wonder how many of those people were actually fans of Laurel and Hardy. Well, perhaps a good many of them. I'll never know. I was hoping to get a chance to interview some folks while I was there, but it was so crowded. There were so many people that I only got a chance to talk to one gentleman briefly, and he was able to send a greeting to all of you. But anyway, it was interesting in that it was the Oliver Hardy Festival, but really a lot of it really did have very little to do with Laurel and Hardy. As you can see from the parade footage, it was just a basic all-American quintessential small town parade. Throwing candy to the children, everybody having a good time. It was a beautiful day. And there were some things that were somewhat related to Laurel and Hardy. There were the couple of impersonators riding around. They had some Model T cars from the 30s. And of course, they were showing Laurel and Hardy movies in the cinema on 16 millimeter film with the projector clacking away in the background. So while the picture quality wasn't all that great, it was great to be able to watch these films as they were intended to be watched with an audience, albeit somewhat small audience, but nevertheless, it was great fun to hear people laughing along with the antics of the boys. So I'm glad I got a chance to go, and perhaps I will go next year. So there's my report from the Oliver Hardy Festival in Harlem, Georgia in October 2023. Thanks for watching.